Vrindavan, Sri Govinda, Gopinath, and Madana Mohan. All glories to Shyamakund, Radhakund, Govardhan Hill, and the Yamuna River, Kalindi. All glories to the great forest known as Mahavan, where Krishna and Balaram displayed all of their childhood pastimes. All glories to Keshi Ghat, where Krishna killed the Keshi demon. All glories to the Vamsivat tree, where Krishna attracted the gopis to come by playing his flute. Glories to all of the 12 forests of Raja. At these places, the son of Nanda, Sri Krishna, performed all of his pastimes. All glories to Krishna's divine father and mother, Nanda and Yashoda. All glories to the cowherd boys, headed by Sri Dama, the older brother of Srimati Radharani and Ananga Manjari. All glories to the cows and the calves of Raja. All glories to Radha's divine father and mother, Vrishabhanu and the beautiful Kirtida. All glories to Purnamasi, the mother of Sandipani Muni, grandmother of Madhumangal and Nandimukhi, and beloved disciple of Devarishi Narada. All glories to the young cowherd maidens of Raja. All glories to Gopishwar Shiva, who resides in Vrindavan in order to protect the Holy Land. All glories to Krishna's funny Brahmana friend, Madhumangal. All glories to Ramaghat, where Lord Balaram performed his Rasa dance. All glories to Lord Balaram, the son of Rohini. All glories to all residents of Vrindavan. All glories to the wives of the proud Vedic Brahmanas. All glories to the wives of the Kaliya serpent. Through pure devotion, they all obtain the lotus feet of Lord Govinda. All glories to the place where the Rasa dance of Sri Krishna was performed. All glories to Radha and Shyam. All glories to the divine Rasa dance, which is the most beautiful of all Lord Krishna's pastimes. All glories to the mellow conjugal love, which is the most excellent of all rasas, and propagated in Braj by Sri Krishna, in the form of his divine Parakya Bhav. Remembering the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda's consort, Sri Janava Devi, this very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna sings the Sankirtan of the holy name. Some have katas.
Yeah.
Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan.
Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan.
Jaya Radhe, Jaya
Jaya Jaya
Varajacharya Ashtatasha Srimati Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
Srila Nam Acharya Haridas Thakur Ki
Jai.
Principal Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki
Jai.
Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhani Ki
Jai.
Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki
Jai.
Shri Mathura Dham Ki
Jai.
Jagannath Puri Dham Ki
Jai.
Shri Navagrit Mayapur Dham Ki
Jai.
Ganga Maya Ki
Jai.
Yamuna Maya Ki
Jai.
Bhakti Devi Ki
Jai.
Tulasi Maharani Ki
Jai.
Savadeta Bhakta Vrinda Ki
Jai.
Shri Balaram Jayanti Ki
Jai.
Shri Balaram Purnima Ki
Jai.
Shri Nityananda Ram Ki
Jai.
Jai Gaur Premanand.
Hari Om.
All glories to Sambuddha.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Sambuddha.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Sambuddha.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Balaram. All glories to Shri Ram. Chakshurmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sadhujatam Sadhana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sadhana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchatam Padarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Yadevacha Balitam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Sounded like today we're going to start off by reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is by His Divine Grace Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
And on this auspicious occasion that we're celebrating the appearance of Sri Balaram, who is the emblem of strength, Bala, I would say in the physical sense as well as the spiritual strength, of the spiritual sense of strength. So today's theme of the lecture will be based on strength. And we'll look at a few verses and one purport related to this theme of strength. And the first verse that we will look at is chapter 10, text 36 actually. Dhyutam shalayatam asmi tejasvinam aham jayosmi vyavasayosmi sattvam the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and read the translation and purport. Translation. I am also the gambling of cheats, and of the splendid I am the splendor. I am victory, I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. So we can responsibly repeat that. I am also the gambling of cheats.
I am also the gambling of cheats.
And of the splendid,
And of the splendid,
I am the splendor.
I am the splendor.
I am victory.
I am victory.
I am adventure.
I am adventure.
And of the strength,
And of the strength,
I am the strong.
I am the strong.
Purport. There are many kinds of cheaters all over the universe. Of all cheating processes, gambling stands supreme, and therefore represents Krishna as the supreme. Krishna can be more deceitful than any mere man. If Krishna chooses to deceive a person, no one can surpass him in his deceit. His greatness is not simply one-sided, it is all-sided. Among the victorious, he is victory. He is the splendor of the splendid. Among the enterprising and industrious, he is the most enterprising and the most industrious. Among adventurers, he is the most adventurous, and among the strong, he is the strongest. When Krishna was present on earth, no one could surpass him in strength. Note that statement. Even in his childhood, he lifted Govardhan Hill. No one can surpass him in cheating. No one can surpass him in splendor. No one can surpass him in victory. No one can surpass him in enterprise, and no one can surpass him in strength. Prabhupada has emphatically emphasized and repeated this in this purport. The next verse that I'd look at would be chapter 16. Yes, chapter 16, verse 18. Text 18. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blaspheme against real religion. So this verse is essentially also speaking about strength, but this type of strength is used in a manner which is against real religion, which is adharmic, or against bhakti. And last verse, which is chapter 17, text 8. Foods dear to those in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, and give strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart. So with these three verses that we have just looked at, there are three very stark, I would say, at least the first two are stark contrasting examples of strength, where Krishna, the supreme embodiment of strength, as Prabhupada would say, in the fullest form. Because we have many examples of strength in the material world. But there's always someone who's stronger than the strong. Somehow or the other, where you have the strong man and universal man, Iron Man, triathlon man, competitions, but even the greatest of triathlon champs have to bite the dust at one point or the other. After winning all the glories and the medals, well, they say that their time has passed. What does this mean? Krishna, in the form of time, takes his toll, where all the strength, all the vitality of youth is now used up. What's left? once a strong triathlon champ or Ironman or Mr. Universe, you name it, the strongest person in the world, or the world as we know it, but we know that this world is a very tiny fraction, mustard seed in a bag of huge cosmic manifestation proportions. So we are this tiny little world in a universe, one of the many universes. And we think that by winning some competition or strength challenge, that is a befitting way to show off our prowess. But just by reading the Bhagavad Gita, we understand that Krishna says that he is the prowess of all powerful men. And he is full in all of these 6 qualities, in power and strength especially. So once there was a transcendental competition, and the devotees asked Srila Prabhupada, so who is stronger, Krishna or Balaram? Does anyone remember what was the outcome of that?
Krishna, because Balaram is always leaning towards Lord Krishna.
Exactly. So there were so many arguments and debates that were put forward. But remember, when I was reading the purport, I said, note that one line. He is the strongest, always, and the source of everyone's strength. And essentially, Lord Balaram is always in that role of servant of Krishna. In Vrindavan, when Krishna needs to rest after tending the cows and playing with the cowherd boys the whole day, Lord Balaram becomes the pillow by offering his lap to Krishna to take rest. Whether it's direct affairs, dealing with the Lord personally as his elder brother, or whether it's in terms of universal affairs and management thereof, he now takes the form of Anantashesh or Anantashai when Vishnu needs to lie on the ocean. It is said that Balaram is also Vrindavan Dham. Whenever Krishna needs to manifest, Lord Balaram appears first to make sure that everything is in tip-top shape and perfect for the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Lord Balaram takes great transcendental pleasure in being the servant. Just a few weeks ago, my dear Gurudev Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj was speaking about the transcendental pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and the mystical and very beautiful pastimes surrounding his appearance. And one of those pastimes related to how Krishna, although he enjoyed being served by his devotees, he noticed that their enjoyment was thousands and thousands of times greater than his own. And he wanted to taste that mood of service. And so he manifests as Lord Chaitanya to taste that bhakti bhav in the service of the Lord. So Lord Nityananda, who is none other than Sri Balaram, is always exhibiting this transcendental ecstasy in the mood of Krishna, in the mood of the servant of Krishna. The ecstasy derived from being a servant of the Lord is uncomparable. In the material world, being a servant seems like it's not a very high position to be in. In the material world, if you say that you're a servant of someone, it's generally akin to exploitation. We have many examples of people who were servants willingly and unwillingly in the material world. Whether they were slaves, famous slave trade, indentured laborers, people who were taken against their will to be slaves. So the connotation of servant doesn't always have a very appealing notion in the material world. But when we understand our position, our eternal position, as servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this position of servant is not equal to this exploitative, degrading position of the servant here in the material world. Of course, to be in a position of servitude means that one has to be humble. That you're willing to serve means that you understand that that position of supremacy is already taken. Prabhupada says Krishna is always Krishna. This verse also spoke about cheats and cheating. So Prabhupada would always speak against these cheating types of religions, as mentioned in Bhagavatam, Kaitava Dharma, or the type of so-called religions that have nothing to do with the worship of the Supreme Person. So these type of Kaitava Dharma, or cheating religions, they propagate all kinds of different things to bewilder people. And Prabhupada says if you want to get cheated, you will get cheated. But if you're genuinely seeking the absolute truth, Paramatma in the heart, Krishna in the heart, will guide us towards a qualified person, to guide us on this path. But what is needed is our sincerity. Most times we are afraid to surrender because we have noticed that the people who surrender in this world, like servants, are not treated very nicely. So a lot of people are afraid of being fully committed, fully surrendered to Krishna. But it is a grave mistake that we make to equate the behavior of so-called masters of this world and our Supreme Lord. Krishna is our ever well-wishing friend. And he doesn't need anything from us, but he's ready to give us all facility if we ever turn to him. And if we're ever favorably disposed to want to get to know him and to understand him, and to develop our loving relationship with him. So being a servant of Krishna is very different from serving temporary masters of the material world. There's a beautiful bhajan, Bhaja Hurenam. And one of the verses says, I've served wicked and miserly men, bearing the heat and the cold, without even thinking, of my purpose and what will be my next destination like that. So that kind of service only brings misery. Whereas service, as we've heard in the previous classes, about service being able to give us joy. Bhakti Yoga is joyfully performed. Susukam karta. Prabhupada said if we're not getting happy by chanting Hare Krishna, performing devotional service, then we need to check our practice. What's going on? Because this process is meant to bring us joy, happiness at every step. It's not the kind of flickering happiness we're talking about that we get when we attain something we've wanted, and then the joy of wanting or desiring to attain that thing has passed. Not that kind of flickering joy, but long-standing, steady happiness, unshakable happiness, where everything around us could be burning, going to hell, which sometimes is the situation. But by spiritual practice and strength, we're able to overcome these things and understand what the next destination will be. And of course, understanding our goal of this destination, or to speak of the next. But of course, trying to find this pathway is not easy to do alone. So Sri Balaram is also known as the Adi Guru, or the original Guru, or original spiritual master. On this path of devotional service, it is essential to have a Guru, because it's so easy to be deceived and cheated in the material world. So having a Guru essentially means we're ready to submit and surrender unto someone who can guide us in our spiritual lives, who is essentially taking responsibility for us and our advancement on the path of bhakti, if we're ready to do it. That's why taking a guru is not a light decision. It means I will follow and I will surrender to any instruction that they see fit for my advancement. Even if we may not be able to see it, we may try to inquire submissively and gain some understanding. But having a guru, what to speak of an adi guru, and following such instruction isn't something that we do lightly. And it isn't something that's to be given up lightly either. The qualifications of a guru are mentioned in Shastra. And Prabhupada makes these criteria very clear if you read any of his books. Who is to be accepted and who is to be rejected. One of the 12 Mahajans, or great authorities, is Bali Maharaj. Does everyone know who Bali Maharaj is? Does anyone not know who Bali Maharaj is?
Is he the nephew of Prahlad Maharaj?
I think he's from his family, yes.
He was a king.
He's king, yes, of demons. And his guru was Shukracharya. So even demons have gurus. But Vamanadev, which is a form of the Lord in a dwarf incarnation, a very beautiful, beautiful incarnation of the Lord. And once Vamanadev had approached Bali Maharaj, and although Bali Maharaj was a demon, he was very favorably posed towards the Brahmanas, and he would give him charity. So Vamanadev approached Bali Maharaj, and he asked of him for 3 steps of land. Of course, Bali Maharaj magnanimously declared that he can have anything he wants. But Bali Maharaj was cautioned by his guru, Shukracharya, who said to him, "This is Vishnu." And as we were reading in this verse, if he wants to be deceitful, he can be supremely deceitful, if that is his intention. If he wants to bewilder someone, and he's the greatest at bewildering them, who cannot be bewildered? He's fantastic at what he does. So, Shukracharya says, no, this is Vishnu, and he's asked 3 steps of land, but don't be deceived by this beautiful young Vamanadev form of Vishnu. I know his intentions, they are to trick you. And Bali Maharaj, he understood that the instructions of his spiritual master were actually going against the will of the Lord, and were not in line with the orders of Shastra. So that was a very grave moment where Bali Maharaj took a decision to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead anyway, regardless of the instructions of his spiritual master. And it said that one who disobeys his spiritual master has very, very grave consequences to encounter. It's not something that one does very lightly. But under such a circumstance, where the Supreme Personality is directly asking for service, Bali Maharaj had enough understanding to know that this is the superior way, to follow the instructions of the Lord. And so he submitted himself, and as the Vamanadev pastime goes, after the first and second step, there was nothing else left for the Lord to cover. So the third step, Bali Maharaj humbly offered the Lord his head. And that was the third step of Vamanadev. So this idea of strength, don't let it bewilder us. Because sometimes we think, oh, small child, or beautiful little form. In the material world, our conception of strength is very different. But Krishna is always Krishna. So Vamanadev, even though in a dwarf form, still contained all of the strength and opulence. And as I was mentioning, the Mahajans, who are, favorably disposed to help us, to assist us on our path of bhakti. Bali Maharaj, although going against the order of his spiritual master, is still mentioned as an authority because he followed the path of bhakti perfectly. Okay, so I'm just wary of the time. Yes, because I know there's a drama next, and
Sounds like they're still rehearsing.
And just find out if they're ready.
Sure, thank you.
They're not ready,
All right. Yes, so back to this beautiful pastimes of Lord Balaram and his many displays of strength. I was listening to Krishna book in preparation for the class, and there were so many beautiful, wonderful pastimes. I didn't know which one to choose to specifically talk about for this class. But I remember Govardhan Hill, for example, when Krishna and Balaram, there's a beautiful picture on Bhagavatam of them jumping down the side of Govardhan Hill. I don't know if anyone's seen that. But it seems like they're jumping for miles and miles, because that's how huge Govardhan Hill was. And most of the childhood pastimes of Krishna and Balaram took place around Govardhan. Many of the killing of the demons took place in Govardhan. And Krishna's killed many demons, but there are also a few demons that Lord Balaram specifically killed. Does anyone remember the names of those demons? Yes.
Was it this is a speculation, Dvivida?
Yes, the gorilla.
Dvivida gorilla.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Yes, Denikasura. Yes. And his friends, yes. And I thought that the Denikasura pastime was especially lovely because they spoke about strength, and when people are strong, they generally have a different mood, different attitude and ego about them. So Denikasura had very much of this attitude. And he protected the Talavan forest like that, with all of its fragrant, beautiful, juicy fruit. And no one was allowed to touch it, not even the birds flew there. And one day the cowherd boys were inspired. Krishna and Balaram, we want to eat these fruit. Of course, this is all Varnamasi and Yogamaya is doing, to create the leelas and the pastimes. And so Krishna and Balaram decided to go into the forest and shake some of these trees and make some noise and let them know that they're here. And of course these demons in the form of donkeys or asses come running. And with all their strength, of course, try and kick the beautiful but solid chest of Krishna and Balaram. Which reminds me of another pastime, which we won't go and divert into yet, but...
We have 5-7 minutes there.
Thank you very much. Of a rishi who kicked the chest of Vishnu. And then Vishnu says, "My dear Muni, I've heard that my chest is like a thunderbolt. Are you hurt?" So these beautiful chests of Krishna and Balaram were then kicked by these ass-like demons. And after a few times of them running back and forth and being knocked out unconscious and coming back, Balaram eventually took Dhenukasura by the hooves and swung him around until his centrifugal force of spinning killed the demon. But it didn't stop there. Balaram swung him and flung Dhenukasura onto the top of the tala tree and left him. That happened with the rest of their comrades as well. And after a while, it was quite a scene to have these huge tall trees with now a weird decoration, so to speak, with the bodies of the different colored ass-like demons on top of them. Naturally, also the weight of these demons dropped some of the trees. So again, the light was allowed to come into Tala. The birds could come into Tala. And there was plenty fruit to be had. So I will stop with that beautiful pastime. And one of the main lessons I think that this pastime teaches us, although my Gurudev is able to expand so beautifully and go so deep into this lila, is that this ass-like or donkey-like mentality needs to be kicked out of us. Genuinely needs to be kicked out of our heart, so that it can be a suitable place for the Lords to reside. So when we chant, we can hear these words, and we can go deeper into the chanting of the names of Hare and Krishna and Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So we'll stop there. If we have any questions while we wait for the wonderful dramatists, I'll be happy to discuss. Please. Yes,
Thank you very much for the class. You were mentioning that Balaram was a guru, so I just wondered if there's any instances when Balaram was here where he actually acted as a formal guru rather than us seeing him as a guru in terms of his pastimes. You know, what we can learn from the pastimes, but I wonder if there's any other instances where Balaram actually functioned, you know, as a what we would understand to be like a formal guru.
The only thing that came to my mind when you say the formal instance of guru, but this is not spiritual guru. This is in the arts of war. Balaram was a guru of Duryodhana. Yes. And they had a good relationship. He was close to him. And of course he decided to go on parikrama when the war was taking place, because he couldn't bear to choose sides and have his disciple watching vanquished. So that's the one example that came to mind, but not directly as a spiritual master as such.
Because it's funny that Krishna instructs Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, but you don't hear any instance of Balaram imparting spiritual knowledge in the same way.
I wonder if he did speak after killing Romaharsha Sutta with a blade of brass for not giving proper respect. And that's another feature, beautiful feature of Balaram. Beautiful but scary, beautiful but dangerous, but that is the individual nature of Balaram. So I'm not sure if he did instruct after killing Romaharsha Sutta, sitting on the Vyasasana. I wonder. But of course, as Lord Nityananda, he has disciples. Firstly, Jagai and Mother, who was saved. Mataji Vrinda, are we ready?
Yeah, we are ready.
Okay. Grantara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Balaram Jayanti ki, Shri Nityananda Ram ki, Jai